Ya, Ferrenstein Hasiholan Hutagaol. Kalau saya ingat ini middle name-nya ini nama bapak saya ya. 2007 dia sudah mendahului. Jadi kalau kita dengar kata demi kata sambutan dari brother juga, kita sangat gembira ya bahwa beliau hebat di dalam education dan ministry. Jadi kita bisa mencontoh apa yang sudah dia lakukan bagi kita yang sekarang ini, terutama orang-orang muda. Dia sebagai pioneer, kita salut dengan dia ya. Jadi saya tidak panjang berbicara sini. Kita hidup di dunia ini, kita tidak tahu kapan ya kita bisa selesai. Maksudnya berlalu seperti adik kita ini, anak kita. Yang penting di sini adalah bagaimana kita atau meninggal atau yang kita takuti kalau kita tidak beriman, saudara. Tapi kalau kita beriman, kita sudah pasti di mana tempatnya. Jadi keluarga besar Hutagaol dan Siltonga, kita yang masih diberikan kesempatan, kiranya kita semakin hari bisa dikuatkan dan semakin hari kita dapat lebih dekat lagi kepada Tuhan untuk kita bisa berjumpa dengan kekasih kita, anak, cucu, orang tua atau istri dan yang lain-lain. Kiranya perkumpulan kita ini dapat mendapatkan berkat setelah kita pulang dari sini. Terima kasih.
There's only one. Hi guys, how you doing? Happy Sabbath. Hope you guys are staying healthy. My name is Michael Hasiholan. It's my brother, David Hasiholan. We grew up with Ferrenstein. We went to each other's birthdays. If you knew him as a child, he had a huge head. But I still love him about that. Something particular about this song that we're going to perform. The first time I performed this song was here at my home church, and the pianist was Ferrenstein. So this is for him.
Test.
Grander the sailing forth, moved by the sound of his voice. The seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken my regard. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you, and it is well with me. Far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see. And this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the sea. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you. It is well. It is well. So let go, my soul, and trust in Him. The waves and winds still know His name. So let go, my soul, and trust in Him. The waves and winds still know His name. The waves and winds still know His name. It is well with my soul. 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 Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you, and it is well with me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mel, or Melissa, whatever you want to call me. Um, so, we grew up with Fern here up in the church, in the community, but we didn't really become, well, at least I didn't really become close to him until we all moved back here after college. And then our little group here, we went to one concert together, and then we started jokingly calling ourselves Plur Fam. That was our group name here. But it's tough. I can't believe it's been a year already. But just there's so many good memories with him. One of the things I remember about him, you guys all say that he was quiet, but he was not quiet with us. He was funny. He was so funny. He had the dad jokes. He had puns 24/7. They were always really cringy, but really witty also. I didn't know how he always came up with all these puns for his Yelp Elite Instagram posts. He always had us laughing so hard, and I felt like at the end of the day, I felt like I had an ab workout because I was laughing so hard with him. I'll just never forget how much he made us laugh. And then he was always the guy with the new pair of glasses every time we saw him. Different color, different shape. I'm like, wait, where'd you get that one? And we shared like websites of sharing glasses, and every time I saw him with the new pair. But what I always loved about him was that he was always down to do anything and go anywhere with us, despite how busy he was. He was an active member here in the church with VBS, Swift Choir, always doing praise team. He was working like 2 to 3 jobs on night shift. He had thousands of friends, a girlfriend, and he was going to Yelp events and church events. But despite all of that, he would always be there for us, and he'd always be a good friend and make time for us. I just remember sometimes after church we'd be having potluck, and then after sunset he'd say, oh, I have to go visit another group. He'd go to a birthday party, and then he'll circle back around and meet up with us again for dessert. And he always knew all the good places to eat. I'm sure you guys know he was part of the Yelp Elite. I didn't even know what that was until I met this guy. He was always taking pictures of his food. I remember we'd go to breakfast and he'd be standing on top of the booth, take the pictures of the food. And I know we would roast him all the time for it, but I'd give anything just to see him take pictures of food again. You know, his time here with us is so short, but he truly lived his life to the fullest, you know? I'm sorry. You know, we'll miss you, Fern, every day, but you'll live on through all the memories that you have with me and with all these people here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is William Hutagaol. Just a quick fun fact, I also have the same middle name as Fern, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you to the Maxian family for letting us share some of our memories about Fern here today. First time I met Fern actually was around this time 4 years ago. I remember at that time he has also just started his food blogging Instagram account. I think at the time he only had 1 or 2 posts and a couple of followers. And if you know Fern, you know how passionate he is about taking picture of food and come up with the corniest pun intended. Fast forward about 2 years later, he had about 10,000 followers, tons of restaurant connections in OC, LA, and IE. And the best perk yet, get invited to a different restaurant every week and eat free food. As of growing your Instagram following is not impressive enough, he did it while balancing schoolwork, career, personal and family relationship, having tons of friends. But most importantly, he's maintaining his relationship with God. No matter how busy he is, he always has time for church. Fern taught me many things: to follow my passion, to live my life to the fullest, but most importantly, put God first in everything I do. So to Fern, Thanks for all the memories, for always being an inspiration for me and many others. We all love you until we meet again. Rest in peace, Fern.
I've known Ferrenstein pretty much my entire life. We grew up together in this church, and as far as every important childhood memory I have, I remember him also being a part of it, such as Lowland Kids, Pathfinders, Harmony. We also spent some time going to the same schools, Loma Linda Academy for a while, and PUC for a while. He was always known as being an amazing pianist and for having many friends and being part of many social circles. However, it wasn't until my adult life when we actually became good friends. When I first moved back to Loma Linda, Ferrenstein was one of the important people in my life who brought me back into getting involved in church. With the help of Michael Siahan, Angela Situmang, Melissa Deluxaribu, and Abigail Sihotang, we began Swift Choir in this church. No matter how difficult it was to teach the kids in the choir and the countless amount of times I've wanted to quit, Fern was always supportive and encouraging and told me to never quit. Although he was the pianist, he eventually joined the choir and sang with the men, and he even became a meme amongst the group after Cece Buzon had missung her solo at Mentone Church, saying "Fiery Fern." His love for God and passion for music shined in every aspect of that project, and I'm grateful that he encouraged me to continue involvement in the lifetime of that group. After we wrapped up Swift Choir, the idea of sending our young adults on a mission trip to Indonesia came about. It was the first time in many years that our church had done this, and again I was reluctant and many times backed out. However, Fern's strong faith and persistence encouraged me to continue and to never quit. And after meeting all of the sweet children in Indonesia and having them warm our hearts, it was then I realized that the success of the trip wouldn't have been possible without my friend. We shared many memories as a group during that trip, from showering in the hot springs because we refused to do bucket showers, to Fern being an animal whisperer and picking up critters such as frogs and lizards in the kampung. We always talked about what we wanted to do for our next church mission trip, yet we didn't know that that would be his first and his last. I will cherish every memory I made with him during that trip. Not only did Ferrenstein have an important impact on my spiritual life, but also my personal life as well. In 2016, our friend Maurice Panjaitan moved from Washington, and Fern introduced him into our friend group, which grew. Maurice, Fern, and I later went on a trip to Washington, and it is through him I'd like to think I was able to meet my current partner, William Hutagaol. Our friend group went on trips together and concerts together, from Vegas many, many times, to Big Bear, and to the beach. Fern was notorious for bringing food that he got for free from his connections through his Yelp lead and on his Instagram, which annoyed the heck out of us, but deep down we knew he was super cool for that and low-key jealous. I'll never forget when he was instructed to bring classic, simple, straightforward marshmallows and graham crackers for s'mores to a bonfire, and ended up bringing graham crackers from a company that sponsored him with tiny, tiny marshmallows in a tiny, tiny skillet, and a group of 10 people had to cram around this tiny skillet to get their s'mores. Fern always wanted our group to go on a cruise together, and while we were never able to make that happen, I'll never forget the laughs we shared during our countless game nights and TV show marathons together. Although he wasn't around for very long, I think all of his friends can agree that Fern lived his life fully and will always be remembered for his love for God, his love for his friends, and his absolute love for food. May the thought of him no longer suffering give us peace today and hope for Jesus' second coming where we can see him again.
in truth, the key word being truth. So I'm going to tell you guys a story of when we were in elementary. First of all, he went from kindergarten all the way till the end in Loma Linda Academy, as did I. And in 3rd grade, I had the fortunate pleasure of actually being in the same class as him. Now, Fern later on became someone who had much style, as you all may know, whether it was church events or in high school, even though we wore uniforms. But in 3rd grade, we could wear whatever we wanted. And I wore this visor. I don't know if you guys know, but the one that allows your hair from the top to still show. And this was the time when everybody was wearing spiky hair. I don't know if you guys remember Franklin. Do you remember your brother wearing spiky hair? But he would wear this spiky hair, and I had it dyed. We were in 3rd grade and in Miss Shelton's class. And I had it, and I had the visor. And I wore it a couple days, no attention. No look from my crush. No girl really paying me any attention. But then comes Ferrenstein, wearing the exact same thing as me. And all of a sudden, chaos throughout the entire school occurs. Women from all walks of life, old, young, it didn't matter. They all paid attention to Ferrenstein, and I'm like, was it because of me? Maybe they're, but no, they only said Ferrenstein's name. It was so much chaos that even the teachers started looking his way, and I said, but isn't that against the law? But that's the type of effect that Ferrenstein had. Now, all those many years back, I told Ferrenstein, I'm like, Ferrenstein, this has become chaos. I'm not learning anything at school. The teachers are trying to talk to you while they're supposed to be talking to us about math, English, sciences, nothing. I said, you got to put the visor away. You got to put the spiky hair down. And so Ferrenstein did so. And so that was the first time of many that Ferrenstein brought peace unto our nation. Now, even though that story is very exaggerated, there's still a moment that stands, which later on, fast forward to high school. Now, we're coming back from one of our banquets. I think I went with someone, I don't want to say their name, but anyways, I was talking to some other people, and I was like, Ferrenstein, why is it these women always leave me on red? I'm here putting my heart, emotion, and soul into these text messages, and they're not paying me any peace of mind. Why is that, Fernan? Fern all casual, nonchalant. He's like, well, show me the text. And all my texts were thousands and thousands of characters long, and their reply was, oh, okay, that's cool. And so I was getting what many of you may know is ghosted or, kind of put to the side. And I was like, Ferrenstein, what do I do? Let me see your text. And these women were sending in paragraphs, stories, Edgar Allan Poe type poetry. And I'm like, what about me, Ferd? What did you reply to these things? They're so sweet. I'm sure it's just as long. And then I looked, and all Ferrenstein would say was, that's cool. Okay. And I was like, Ferrenstein, teach me your ways. It says in the Bible to seek wise counsel. And so I went to Ferrenstein for such things. Now, Ferrenstein taught me, sometimes you just got to send him the okay. And those are some of the memories that I have with Ferrenstein. And then it goes to us playing tennis together many years and Yelp reviews later. And we were both tall, and we were playing against shorter individuals. So thank goodness for that. Parents, for the genes that you gave him, for all the wins. But we shared many memories and laughs together, and that was what was important. But on one occasion in particular, when we were playing tennis, he brought his younger brother, Franklin. And I realized something that day. I'm a younger brother, and so I'm always vigilant of such things. And I remember when we were playing, he always kept on looking at his brother. Even though his brother was just doing his own thing, doing his homework, but he made sure to see that his brother was having a good time. And even though it was subtle, I realized it. And he would always show his brothers on his Instagram and made sure that they were shown just as much love and respect as he was receiving. And I felt like he was always trying to be the best brother that he could be. And I felt very honored to witness such a thing. So just know that you guys had a really good brother, and just know that he really loved you guys, and he was always keeping you guys above himself in moments where the love could have just gone to him. I just want to end it with a Bible verse. It says, "For since we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so, through Jesus, God will bring with him those who had fallen asleep. Know that he is asleep." And then in John 11:26 it says, "And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die." Do you believe this? And now he gives us a chance to ask ourselves, do we believe this? And so that when the second coming of Christ comes, we will be able to see him, laugh at these things that we're saying today, and smile again with him in the kingdom of heaven. Now, many of us may not know him as close. I know that I wasn't his best of friend, but we still had many memories together. So regardless of whether you knew him as much as I did, or you're a childhood friend, you read one of his witty posts on Instagram, close friends, the important thing is that we were lucky enough to spend even a fragment of time together with him. And I send my condolences to the family, and thank you so much for raising such a good child.
All right, that was Omar Gaona, one of our high school friends, and my name is Justin Imperio. I would like to say I was one of his best friends. I just like to say that I'm thankful that I was able to be his friend for this long. And I had this whole thing planned out to say. I still have it, but I just didn't think it would happen this way. So I'm glad that I got to meet Fern back in middle school. I just remember him being this tall guy. I was like, man, I hope I get that tall one day. And, you know, he was like this guy. He's just like nerdy guy, but then he like knew everybody. I was like, man, I want to be cool like him too. So, yeah, we met in high school. We became closer during that time. Had a lot of good memories. I think during like junior year, it was always like me and Fern, like, I don't know, you could always tell I was like the tall one and the short one. So everywhere we go, like we'd be hyping each other up to do a lot of things. I just want to revisit one of the stories of one of the more recent times we had together when we were in my house for Christmas parties. I think the last one was when we had at my house, and he just got back from like remission, and he was doing good, and we're like, okay, good, you know, he's gonna do better. And I don't know why, but like for some reason we always put him in the middle of the chair every time. If you see the pictures later or something, you always see him in the middle, and it's kind of crazy because now it's like, oh, I guess we'll have to always leave that space open for him. Anyways, I'm gonna read a couple things. I wrote out some stuff for him. So this is my message to Fern. So this is what I was gonna say actually back when he did pass away. So this is what I want to say. Dear Ferrenstein Hasiholan Hutagaol, my day one homie, my PIC partner in crime, my fellow Pokemon Go master, my fellow Funko Pop collector, Mr. Yelp Elite, Mr. 10K on IG, Insta famous. His favorite was Swagenstein Hutagaol. King of Texter, aka Mr. Text Your Girl. Back when he was single though. But then when he found Easter, I knew that was the real one. So, Mr. Foodie, the Pun Master, my brother and best friend. You were one of my closest friends growing up in high school, and I'm so glad to have met you, because you made a big impact in my life and also your lives. From our many adventures together and our chill car talks, to us roasting each other with Franklin and John, and with the guys, talking about girls when we were single, playing video games, you always knew how to make everything in life fun and exciting, even when we would get into mischief. You were so social. You knew so many people, and everyone knew the one and only famous, infamous Ferrenstein. Every time someone would meet you, they would say, "Oh, so you're Ferrenstein." And he would respond with something clever like, "Nah, I think you're talking about the other Ferrenstein." And it shows today because you touched so many lives and impacted so many people, as it shows here right now today. We had so many future plans to do together as friends, future memories to make, like going to each other's weddings and partying it up, traveling together, chilling with all our homies and families, and seeing our kids be friends with each other and saying, wow, we got real mini-me's now. Shout out to Franklin and John and Michael. You were so ambitious and full of energy and always down for a good time, and I admired that about you. In our group, you were the tall one and I was the short one, and we always had good laughs in the group about that. Our group will never be the same without you, bro, and there'll always be a spot for you in the chair in Christmas. It saddened me to see you in the hospital every time I visited you, but you always kept a positive attitude, and you still had witty shots and comebacks even though you were in pain. You were taken away from us too soon, bro, but I knew that even until the end, you loved and always trusted in God. I can't wait to see you again when you wake up to update you about everything that's happened and to roast each other with the guys just like before. I'm gonna miss you so much, and until then, the guys and I will hold it down for you here. R.I.P. I love you, bro. Justin. P.S. Got it. And I just want to read one more Bible verse. In Revelation 21:4. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be any mourning or crying nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. And I can't wait to see you again when God comes in the clouds of heaven. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Easter, and I was Fern's girlfriend for 2.5 years. It means so much that all of you are here with us, commemorating and celebrating Fern's life. And from the bottom of our hearts, we truly appreciate your support, prayers, and comfort throughout this entire time of grief and healing. I almost couldn't bring myself to write this, not because of my tears, but because there's not enough words to express how much I want to say about how he's changed me for the better and became the biggest blessing to me. I don't even know how or where to begin explaining what happened or how I've been able to navigate or understand all of this, but I do know that I wouldn't be standing here today without Fern's strength, resilience, and peace. Fern, this is my letter to you. My dearest Fern, it has been 369 days, 12 months, and 8,856 hours since I lost you, the love of my life, my boyfriend, and best friend. There's not a day, month, or hour that goes by without missing you and wishing to still have you here by my side every day. I've only gotten to know you for 2.5 years, and within that time, I found someone who truly made me happy and who loved and took care of my heart completely and unconditionally. I'm so thankful that I decided to go to that birthday dinner in 2017, or else who knows when the next time our paths might have crossed. When I first met you, I didn't expect to like you, let alone fall for you. But you instantly stole my heart by being your sweet, kind, handsome, and charismatic self. Until you, I never thought my heart could love someone so much, and even more so. In the past, I sometimes thought I was unworthy of receiving such love. Then I met you, and you proved me wrong by constantly filling my life with so much love and joy. I can't remember the specific time when I thought you were the one or knew that I loved you, because I think it was a combination of the little things of what I learned, observed, and grew to love about you. From seeing the bond you held with our families, all of my nieces and nephews and close friends, the passion you had for your career and education, Yelp Elite lifestyle, Funko Pop obsession, and music, but most importantly, your undeniable trust, hope, and faith in and with God. You were always someone who was so sure of what they wanted. You pursued your dreams without hesitation, and being the eldest brother and cousin, you always tried to inspire them to succeed and live their purpose. I remember after your 24th birthday dinner, you told me you loved me. After just 1 month of officially dating, I was so surprised when you told me, but you said, I just knew. I never met anyone who seemed like they had life figured out. I love that about you. You taught me that life is short, and when you feel something about a person, you should tell them. Never take anything or anyone for granted. The day you told me you had cancer, all I could think was, we're gonna be okay. This can't be the end of your story and the end of our amazing chapter together. This situation was something we had to face, accept, and embrace with open arms. But no matter what, we always had each other to lean on for comfort. And that made us a stronger and faithful couple. By saying how difficult, heartbreaking, and painful it was to see you during your hardest days is an understatement. But somehow, even during those hard days, you still displayed so much positivity and light. You were so brave. And I'm sorry that I couldn't do something more for you other than to pray and be by your bedside over the weekends. How I wish I could have taken away any of the pain. Now, how I wish I could tell you that you deserve more time to live your life and for us to continue to grow up and old together, create new memories, and build a marriage and family someday. There was this one time I recall when you hugged me and told me you were scared of maybe leaving me one day. And I had to stop you because I didn't want to hear the rest of that sentence. I just wanted to hold you tight and never, ever let you go. I couldn't imagine not spending the rest of my life without you. And I found myself not wanting to. But now having no choice but to do so. I'm sorry our plans didn't follow through the way that we dreamt it to be, but I will forever cherish all the moments we had. Babe, I know that God put us in each other's lives for a reason, and He knew you were exactly what I needed to get through the challenging and best times of my life. I only hope that I was that and more for you. I now understand why God placed you to be a part of my life. It was because you taught me how to grow with and without you, to be patient with and without you, and to live on with and without you. Thank you for leaving behind your legacy of inspiring others with your journey of healing and your model of love and compassion. It was an honor being yours for this short but meaningful infinity. Thank you for promising me that you were going to fight for us and to persevere until your last breath. You really did win the battle. And you could rest knowing how proud and how deeply loved you were by many. I don't know what I did to ever deserve you, but I'm glad that I can cherish our love, time, and space, and hold it close to me for lifetimes to come. I promise to be happy, brave, selfless, faithful, to remain the daughter to your parents and the big sister to your brothers, to reflect all that you were and what you loved and bring that with me wherever I go. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. I didn't expect to get the goodbye I never thought I had to make. But it doesn't have to be the last. So I'll just say that I can't wait to see you again very soon. Ako chitaka mo, my love. I miss you. Forever and always. Yours, Bubs. Thank you.
For me, Abang Nathan is a role model of a brother who loves his brother and paying so much attention to all his cousins and also his family. I always try to do what he do, to paying all the attention, and I'll never forget all he did to me, to my brother, and to every cousins from Suritonga side. And I'll never forget all the memories we've made together, and my hope is that I can meet Abang Nathan again at the Golden Shore, and that will be lovely, and we miss you so much.
55 is a long years to raise you guys.
Okay, Bang.
Okay.
Blow the candle.
You didn't even blow it. Yeah.
One more.
You're 1 year old. Terbalik tapi lilinnya, Fred.
Pokemon. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur,
Oh, he's going to start from 1!
Blastoise, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Caterpie, Butterfree, Metapod.
He's literally going in order!
Beedrill, Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, and Raticate, and...
No,
Okay. How many points did you have?
sing a song.
Kamu ke depan sama Grace. Yang belakang di belakang aja. Yang nyanyi ke depan. Iya, yang nyanyi ke depan. Dek kasih si M sama si Grace.
Okay. Do you want to hold it, or I can just hold the lyrics? So just all the lyrics.
Oh, I can hold it.
Put it down here.
Okay.
Testing.
Because this one is a point microphone, you cannot go like this. You have to go this way.
Every time I try to stand on my own, every time I try to stand and start to fall, all those lonely roads that I have traveled on, there was Jesus.
When the life I built came crashing to the ground, when the friends I had were nowhere to be found, couldn't see it then, but I can see it now. There was Jesus. In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing and the hurting, like a blessing buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been or where I'm going, even when I didn't know, I couldn't see it, there was Jesus.
Oh, this man's in need of amazing kind of grace, for forgiveness and the price I couldn't pay. I'm not perfect, so I thank God every day. There was Jesus.
There was Jesus. In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing and the hurting, like a blessing buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been and where I'm going, even when I didn't know, I could see it. There was Jesus.
In the valley,
there was Jesus.
in the shadow and the alley,
There was Jesus.
in the fire and the floods,
There was Jesus.
always near and always right. I never walked alone.
In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing and the hurting, like a blessing buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been and where I'm going, even when I didn't know it, I couldn't see it.
Good afternoon, everyone again. My name is Lenny. I am Ferrenstein's youngest auntie. I have so many sweet memories of Anten, as we call him in our family. That's another nickname of him, it's Anten. So because I'm the youngest of my siblings, I think I get to babysit him the most compared to his other aunties. I remember when he was a baby, he was such a fun and cute baby then, and as he was growing up, he was still cute, but in his silly ways. We all know Anten was musically talented. The church and our family have seen and enjoy his talent. For me, it's even sweeter and more special as he would be the pianist when I sing. And just like everyone here today, I will miss that moment. He is not here with us anymore, but we will surely remember his musical talent, his smile, his quirkiness, and even his kindness. And one day, we will see him again. We love you, Ferrenstein, and you'll always be in our heart.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sabbath to you all. My name is Johnny. I am the youngest uncle, and I'm the coolest uncle. You know, oh, well, you know, me and Anten, we have a lot of things in common, you know. He knows a lot of people, I know a lot of people. A lot of people know me, a lot of people know me. You know, he's taller and bigger, but I'm more handsome than him, though. No? Oh, okay. I miss him dearly. I don't have anything prepared for this today because I thought about it last night. It just made me broke down and cry because I was the youngest one, and of course, growing up, seeing him when he was born, and I was there with him, taking care of him where my brother was working, and then I was actually got to spend a lot of time with him, and you know, sometimes he would just visit me, and then he would just have a sleepover, and I was very happy with that. You know, growing up, seeing him growing up 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, I could see this guy that he's gonna be a popular guy because you know he was, you know, 2, 3 years old. He was just trying to hustle me for ice cream, and you know I got suckered into it. Of course, I took him to get some ice cream, but thrifty back then, yes. So, you know, being the youngest uncle, you know, he would always approach me to ask about things in life, you know, and stuff that I could connect with him more. And, you know, by watching a lot of his friends that came up here and then give him a lot of talk about him, it just made me feel that, man, I miss him more and more. It's sad that when I found out he had cancer, and then me and my wife, we did a hike. We hiked the Mount Whitney to honor him. That, you know, I didn't prepare, I didn't train for that or anything like that. I just went for it, and I told him that, look, you know, God would help you if you put your mind into it and you will believe him. So I dedicate that hike for him, hoping that he would make it. He did make it. He did. He got out of his, he got out of the hospital for a little bit, and I thought he made it. But, you know, God had a different plan for him. We miss you, Ferrenstein, and then we love you, and then we still miss you every day. Thank you all.
Hello. Okay. So my name is Ethan. I'm one of Fern's younger cousins, and I'm going to share a couple of words regarding Fern. So there's something I want people to understand specifically about the kind of person Ferrenstein was. From the point of view of someone who, as Franklin said, viewed Fern as the brother they never had. Growing up with Fern, who was about 7 or so years older than me, I had always associated both him and Franklin with having fun. I was an annoying little kid who always wanted to hang out with his cool older cousins and go over to their house. And thankfully enough, Franklin and Fern always accommodated me. So there was this one time that I was over at their house, and this was when he was about 18 and I was like 11 or so. And I was over at their house for some reason, I can't remember. But I was hanging out when suddenly Fern said he was going to go out and drive to his school for some event with some friends. And being as annoying as I was, I wanted to come and join along. The only problem was the fact that his car was full. And when I say full, I mean like 4 or 5 friends were already stuffed in the back seat. So I asked him, wait, where am I going? And then, being the inclusive, cool older cousin he was, he brought me with him. The only problem was that he stuffed me in the trunk. He brought me with him to his school, so yeah, you can picture it. He was about 18 or so years old, and he was driving around with me, his 11-year-old cousin, getting bounced around in the trunk like a rag doll, all just to keep me included. I can only imagine what would have happened if he were to get pulled over. But at the end of it all, I had fun. So whether it be going to their house and playing games, going out to buy mini boba and shooting it in the parking lot of people's cars, or just hanging out and watching TV at a party for hours on end, I always had fun whenever I was with him. And I think that many people can agree with me when I say that as an individual, he was a person who wanted to have fun and to specifically share the fun he chased after with as many people as he could. Whether it be having parties, going out and trying all kinds of food, traveling, movie hopping, going to the amusement park, or even just playing games, Fern was someone who had lots of fun and enjoyed sharing this fun with others. Outgoing, goofy, and smart, Fern was both a person people wanted to be around and others wanted to be like. As the oldest cousin of more than 10 cousins just from his Hutagaol side, he had large shoes to fill in as a role model. And through his actions as the chief fun organizer of the family, as I would like to call it, I'd like to think that he fulfilled his role excellently and gave us all a lot of joy. With all of this in mind, I think it's important to remember the type of person Fern was when thinking about him, as it helped me a lot when I needed it. Fern was someone who gave many people good memories, joy, and happiness. And although we are here to remember him and celebrate his life, I feel that we can also learn from him, whether it be going out with friends, hanging out with family, or even spending time at work. I feel that we should look to find opportunities to have fun and create memories with others, just as he did. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Terry, and Ferrenstein was my nephew, and he was a warrior. Maxie and Julie, your son was a warrior. Frederick, your brother was a warrior. He was none more true when he was diagnosed with cancer. He showed his warrior spirit. And another test that I always perform to see if they have that warrior spirit, that warrior attribute which Ferrenstein had, that every time he was with them, he had this innate ability to uplift everyone that was surrounding him. And a sure litmus test that I usually perform to see and find out if they truly are a warrior. One day I invited him to my house and I created barbecue chicken. And Ferrenstein ate it and loved it, so I knew he was a true warrior. So anytime you have a doubt that you're a warrior, come have some of my barbecue chicken, and you will truly know that you are a warrior. So on this particular day, where he shined as a warrior, was when I, myself, and Ferrenstein, we went for his last radiation treatment. I don't know if anybody, one of you guys have been to one of these treatments, but you have to be a warrior to go through those treatments. And my nephew Ferrenstein went into this room. They have a table, big, ominous machines. He was going through brain radiation, so they created a mask, if you will, a netted mask, a radio opaque mask. They lay you down on this table, affix this mask so the laser knows exactly where to go. And my nephew went through that, so many treatments of that, and on this particular day, it was his last treatment. And my nephew, the warrior, went through it like a warrior always does, with optimistic attitude and this undying courage to fight cancer. It was very inspiring. I don't know if I would have the ability to go through such treatments, and he did. He fought to his last breath. Every day, every time, when I think of him, it uplifts my spirit. His unwillingness to quit and fight. He will forever inspire me to live as he did, with that warrior spirit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nick, for many of those who don't know me. I was among Ferrenstein's younger cousin. Though I don't have much to say about him, here's one fond memory that me and him had. It was some summer night. Me and him were playing games. It was pretty late at night, like midnight or 1 a.m. We were laughing. We had just failed the game, and we were too loud. So then my mom woke up. She heard me. She came downstairs and then started yelling at me. And of course, Abang Ferrenstein heard that, and he started laughing. So then when we saw each other, he brought up that memory, and then everybody started laughing. And yeah, I would give up anything to hear that again and to do that with him. Thank you.
The very sweet memory that I remember about him, too much to tell, but I know he lost his battle to cancer, but he come out as a winner. He will be forever in our heart. Goodbye now, Ferrenstein.
Hello, my name is Grant. I am Ferrenstein's younger cousin. I only have a quick thing to say. It is a memory. So, Alan Ferrenstein, he always is kind and always happy. He likes to make jokes and he made me some more or funny jokes for fun. I will never forget his smile and kindness.
Hello, my name is Grace, and I'm one of Ferrenstein's younger cousins. He's, as the oldest cousin of the Hutagaols, he was a great role model for all of us. He was smart, musically talented, witty, and just always knew what to do. I wanted to be like him. I always followed him around when I was little, like a little duckling following the bigger duck. I'm sure he got annoyed of me doing that, but he just let me do so. To me, he was like an older brother. When the fondest memories I've had during my childhood was when him and Franklin would always pick on me. They loved picking on me back then because before all the younger cousins came into the picture, I was the only girl. I was tiny and a little bit more shy compared to these two, which made me a target. They would start fights and try to scare me by popping out of the closet. I think that was the reason why I hate horror movies to this day. Those fights when we were little, it wasn't funny back then, but we look back at those moments now and we laugh. We bonded over anime, music, and food. I don't know how he would find out about what I was doing or who I was with, but any guy outside of our family or outside his friend group that was in close proximity from me, he would ask, "Is he your boyfriend?" I replied, "No, Abang, he's just a friend." And he would be like, sure he is. Well, whoever you date, he has to get through me and Franklin's interview first. His nosiness kind of annoyed me sometimes, but I know deep down he cares about me. Fun fact, he was the one who introduced me to In-N-Out Burger when I was little. Before I came here, I actually ate In-N-Out for lunch. We both love cheeseburger with grilled onions and regular fries. I know it's not healthy, but it is what it is. He was the one that encouraged me to make an Instagram foodie account, the one who inspired me to pursue my creative hobbies. Even though he's no longer with us, he is in our spirit. Keeping his legacy alive through our common hobbies and interests is one of the reasons why I do what I do and why the way I am, and I can't wait to see him again.
Hi, I'm Hendrik. I'm the coolest uncle. No, I'm just kidding. It's John, actually. We have a lot of memories about Ferrenstein. One of the particular that I remember very well to this day, and it dawned on me again, because Franklin, I don't know if you remember when you were 3 and he was 4, I bought the two of you cheap biker's jacket, and you were excited, the two of you. But your mom kind of, this is a sign of wildness, I guess. And it dawned on me right now that I was not trying to make you look alike, because neither your dad and I are alike. We are different, but your brother is the sweetest boy. You're not as sweet, but you are still precious, so just be yourself. And we will always remember Ferrenstein. But we also need to know that God has a plan for each and every one of us. Ferrenstein's time was short, but even in that short moment that we have with him. It is encouraging, it is inspiring to know that many people have been loved, experienced his kindness, included in his circle, perhaps not the best way like Ethan was, but through it all, may we always remember the smile, the kindness, the love that Ferrenstein always shared with everyone. And for all of you who have come here for this celebration of his life, thank you. And we love you all. And God bless you.
How I describe or remember my beloved eldest son, Ferrenstein. Ferrenstein is a very special name created just for him by his father. Some of you, his closest friends, might already know. But for you who don't know, let me explain it again. I'm sorry to repeat this again and again. It is from the periodic table of elements. Ferros mean iron, and stainless steel, a beautiful, strong iron. No rust. That is our dearest Ferrenstein. Being the firstborn of both sides of the family, he is a great joy to our large family with a personality that we all love so much. He was always soft-spoken, a peace builder, fun, a quick learner, creative, cool, laid back, but always stay focused on what and was a good leader to his cousins. He was curious but very attentive to his family, especially to me. When he was 11 years old, I happened to be pregnant with his youngest brother, Fred. Fern would often hold my hands when we walked, as he wanted to make sure that I would be safe. Or when we as a family walked and I happened to be a couple steps behind, Fern would always stop and look back and said, "Mom, come on, you're way behind." He was very outgoing and had no problem making lots of friends, but was still very faithful to his childhood best friend for his entire life. His first time away from home, he spent 2 years in PUC, and every year he sent me a beautiful bouquet of flowers with a small card for Mother's Day. In this card, he would say how much he missed home and how much he missed my home-cooked meals. He would thank me or us for all the simple things we provided for him. He didn't like piano, but always thanked us for what he called forcing me to play piano. He ended up using his talents for his friends and for God as a church pianist. Later, he transferred to Loma Linda School of Allied Health to be back home with us. He continued to shower me with love. He brought home a lemon juice squeezer, knowing that I like to make simple home remedies for all of us. Fern's life was easy and casual, but full of activities. Even though he was busy with work and other activities, He always made time for us, his family, to eat together or spend time with his loving girlfriend Esther and her family. One day, as I was scooping lots of vegetable into his plate, Fern turned around and, as he said, "Whoa, Mom, do you think we are goats?" This made us laugh so much, and who would eat all the veggies without any problem? Ferns also love a bargain. I think we all do. He surprised me with a big, beautiful washer and dryer. It is mismatched. It's not a pair. So the door were open this way instead of this way. But I loved it so much. Fern's fun life and our happy life changed since the diagnosis. But we were very hopeful because he was young. He was sorry he had to put us through this, he said. But Fern always stayed positive throughout his treatments. He had accepted the quote, "Do not take your health for granted," and started spreading this around to warn all his friends and Instagram friends. And I, as a mom, will continue to spread this around in honor of him. When his condition changed so drastically after the second treatment, we thought we might lose him, but God showed his mercy with lots of miracles. He was able to go home and spend time with us. Even with the trach in his neck and his shiny head, he was never ashamed of his condition. His whole personality stayed the same. He was back to attending church services a couple of times. Satu hari Sabat, Ferrenstein, after the service, stay over for the potluck. Setelah semua selesai makan, ternyata dia masih tinggal around the kitchen area di belakang sana. Opung borunya datang mendekati dia dan berkata, "Hai Ferrenstein." "Hai Opung," jawabnya. "Kamu belum makan?" "Oh sudah Opung." Opungnya melihat bahwa Ferrenstein mengambil beberapa butir telur dan taruh di piring yang dia pegang. "Jadi buat siapakah itu telur-telur itu kamu taruh di piringmu?" "Oh, ini buat Mami dan Oma, Opung." "Loh, kenapa? Bukannya mereka tadi sudah makan juga di potluck?" "No, mereka pulang lebih cepat, Opung." Rupanya dia mengingat saya dan omanya di rumah. Dia tidak merasa malu untuk mengambil makanan yang tertinggal di dapur sana hanya untuk memberikan kepada saya dan omanya. Ferrenstein would never ask God why. "Why me, God?" or "Why again, God?" When he found out he needed more chemo and radiation, he was still very determined and positive. He faced this all with bravery. When I know he felt the worst pain with the side effect of treatment, Fern would never get angry or mad, nor frustrated. Never do I remember even a word of complaint coming out of his mouth. This time he became vegan. He made sure the food he ordered from the hospital kitchen was pure vegan. Even if he had to eat the same vegan burger every day, he had no complaints. He was still very attentive to the needs of others, especially to me and his grandma, who was living with us then. Fern would tell me, "Mom, go home please. Oma or Grandma needs you more than me. I will be okay." Only then I would leave his side to take care of his 90-year-old grandma. As Fern's breath became more heavy and he was struggling to breathe, we took him to go see his doctor again and were encouraged to go straight to UC Davis in San Diego for their specialized treatment. Fern would tell his loving girlfriend Esther and patiently wait for her to go down from Bellflower to be with him on his way to San Diego. Esther has been by Fern's side most of the time, being a loving and moral support to him. What a loving relationship they both had. We are not very happy to find out that due to COVID, no visitors were allowed to stay with patient at all. It was only allowed to be with him. I was only allowed to be with him during his procedures, and the rest of his stay, he was there by himself. Fern would not let the doctors and nurses begin the procedure if I wasn't there by his side. One day, as we were exercised, we walked together in the hallway with his big arm around my shoulder and my small arm around his waist. When he suddenly said, "Mom, I think I like this." I was like, "You like what, sayang?" He answered, "I like to have you come here to visit me." And I answered him, "Of course. Mommy loves to spend time with you here as much as they would allow me to." Not knowing that that is our last walking together. Later that afternoon, he had dinner and he shared his dinner with me. I know he is a big eater, but because of his love to me, he insisted I eat some of his dinner even when he had to eat less. He wanted to become an organ donor when he was younger, and he is able to donate his corneas so someone can have a better vision. There is a big hole in my heart that only Fern can fill. Like Ferrenstein always did, we never asked why God did not answer our prayers, because we know God did answer our prayers. This time, his answer to us is no. But it is a loving no, and we believe this because it is written in the Bible in Isaiah 55, verse 8 to 9. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord." Sorry. "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." We thank the Lord for the 26 and a half blessed years we had with Ferrenstein. We thank God for the promise of hope. We will see Ferrenstein's beautiful smile and embracing arms once again when Jesus comes the second time. Oh, what a glorious day it will be. So, Lord, please help us who miss him dearly to be faithful to you. Amen. Yeah.
Hi again, everybody. I just wanted to give a sleep memory I had from when we used to hang out. So me and my brother would always go to his food events, and obviously if it weren't for the food events, I probably wouldn't go out with him just because he was always annoying me. But I'm glad that we had those food events because we got to bond. And I never told him this, but every time I was in his pictures, I felt really proud to be his brother and for him to be my brother. And I never told him this, but I really liked when we had those times together because we usually always fought at home, but when we came together like that, it made me feel nice. And also another funny memory I had was when my friends were over, my brother would have those giveaways for the food coupons, and my brother did like the raffle in front of me and my friends, and me and a couple of my friends won the raffle, and I just felt really proud to be his brother then, and I still am. And yeah, thank you.
Go ahead. Well, I know it's really late. We've been through about 2.5 hours. Some of you that been here earlier spent a lot more time, but I really do appreciate just be patient a little bit more. And as you know, this is really mean a lot to us. You may never understand until you in the situation where you needed the support. And all of your presence here is really strengthen us as a whole. You'll never understand the sweet memory that friends is giving us today, that really brought tears to us, but at the same time is a joy to know that he is loved by a lot of people. I will never understand how the relationship with Michael and David, they are the only one who will understand. But I'm glad to hear that. The story about that Melissa, Lolly, and Will that share with us, we probably will never hear that up until now. And Omar, this is the first time that I heard about this story. And Justin, I'm glad Justin is his brother from different parents, and his Filipino parents is also here, the Imperios. You know, a lot of times we're jealous because he spent a lot more time with his Filipino parents than Indonesian parents. Well, of course, with us at home, there is going to be a lot more rule than with his Filipino parents, so that's why we understand about that. But this is really meant a lot. Yes, we really miss him dearly, you know, and so a lot of you friends miss him dearly, but knowing that you are here, my family is here, and the church family is here supporting us, that's really the one that keep us strong and keep us with the hope and making us more hopeful that we know that our God is stronger. Just like in Ephesians 8 verse 11, I said that my way is not your way. We wanted to have Ferrenstein more, but God knows what best for us. And for that, I really appreciate all of you that are here today supporting us, even though it's really late. And also to all the viewers, to all the online friends and family, that you probably will be here also to support us, but because of the situation that we understand, but we also love you very much. And the only thing that we can do, we will just pray that may God will bless each one of you abundantly. Thank you, and thank you all for your support and prayer. Continue to support and pray to us and one another, that we may be strengthened to wait for that bright morning when we can meet with our loved one and prepare for our heavenly kingdom. Thank you very much.
Yang dapat dikatakan sehubungan dengan kehidupan Ferrenstein Hutagaol.
So many things that we can say about the life of Ferrenstein Hutagaol.
Saat ini saya mau share sedikit suatu peristiwa.
This time I'd like to share a little encounter.
Ketika Ferrenstein sudah selesai surgery,
When he just completed his surgery,
Dan dia sudah pulang ke rumah.
and went back home.
Dan dia menjalani satu pemulihan berada di rumah.
And doing his recovery at home.
Dan sampai akhirnya dia dibawa kembali ke rumah sakit.
Until the time came again for him to go back to the hospital.
Dan khususnya di rumah sakit di San Diego di mana akhirnya dia meninggal.
Especially to hospital in San Diego until the time that
Saya
he
tidak
passed away.
begitu persis ingat kapan harinya.
I don't really remember the exact date.
Tapi pada waktu itu adalah ketika Pastor Wilson Aritonang baru saja datang dari Indonesia.
But I remember at that time, Pastor Aritonang just arrived from Indonesia.
Di satu restoran yang ada di Hospitality Lane sana.
At one of the restaurant on Hospitality Lane here.
Ini adalah satu pembicaraan penting antara Ferrenstein dan Pastor Wilson Aritonang.
There was a very important conversation between Pastor Aritonang and Ferrenstein.
Secara mendetail saya tidak tahu apa pembicaraan itu.
I do not know in detail what took place in that conversation.
Sebab saya hanya mengantarkan Pendeta Wilson untuk berbicara dengan
Because I
Ferrenstein.
was just taking Pastor Wilson to meet up with him.
Tetapi isi keseluruhan pembicaraan itu adalah
However, the content of the conversation was
bahwa anak-anak muda kita berencana untuk melakukan mission trip kembali ke Indonesia.
that our youth had planned a mission trip back to Indonesia.
Dan Ferrenstein adalah salah seorang yang sudah berkomitmen untuk terlibat di dalam mission trip ini.
And Ferrenstein is one of the youth that had committed to be in the mission trip.
Ini adalah sesuatu rencana yang sudah dia komitmenkan kepada Tuhan.
And this was truly a plan that he had committed to God.
Tetapi oleh karena COVID
But due to COVID
dan juga akhirnya dia pergi sebelum hal itu terrealisasi,
and the fact that he passed away before it came into a realization,
kita masih menunggu situasi ini mereda.
we continue to wait until this condition goes away.
Sehingga rencana ini dapat diwujudkan.
So then we can make this plan come through.
Meskipun Ferrenstein tidak bersama-sama
Even
dengan
though
kita.
as Ferrenstein is not with us.
Tetapi apa yang sudah dia komitmenkan untuk melayani Tuhan
But what he had committed to serve his God,
akan kita wujudkan terus.
we'll be able to fulfill that.
Sebab pekerjaan Tuhan tidak boleh dihentikan.
Because the work of God will never stop.
Kita terus bekerja
We will continue to work
untuk menyelesaikan pekerjaan yang Tuhan berikan bagi
to
kita
finish the work that God had given us
sampai Ia datang kembali.
until he comes again.
Apa yang saya mau sampaikan kepada kita semuanya,
What type of message that I would like to give to all of us,
khususnya kepada orang tua,
especially to the parents,
Bapak Hutagaol dan Ibu Hutagaol,
Mr. Hutagaol and Mrs. Hutagaol,
kepada siblingnya Franklin dan
to the
Frederick,
siblings, Franklin and Frederick,
keluarga besar Hutagaol Silitonga,
the extended family of Hutagaol and Silitonga,
dan kita semua teman-teman dan anggota jemaat yang hadir.
for those all of us, friends and church members alike.
Celebration sekarang adalah seolah-olah mengungkit kembali kesedihan yang telah lama.
Although the celebrations sometimes kind of brought up all those sad memories.
Berapa sweet memory yang telah disampaikan tadi,
However, we heard many sweet memories,
tanpa saya rasakan,
and
tanpa saya sadari maksud saya,
without realizing,
saya mencucurkan air mata juga.
I was in tears.
Walaupun kita tidak langsung berada pada situasi itu,
Even though that we were not directly involved in that situation,
cerita itu memang menyentuh hati kita.
those stories really touched our hearts.
Dalam situasi yang demikian, pengharapan apakah yang bisa kita peroleh?
This type of situation, what type of hope that we
Kata-kata
have?
kekuatan apakah yang dapat kita berikan kepada
What
keluarga dan
type of
kita semuanya?
encouragement that we can give to the family?
Pada saat ini saya mau membawa pikiran kita kepada satu ayat yang terpendek di dalam Alkitab. Alkitab.
So this time I would like to bring our attention into the shortest verse in the Bible.
Apakah saudara tahu ayat yang terpendek di dalam Alkitab?
Do you know which one is that?
Terdiri hanya 2 kata saja.
Consisted only with 2 words.
Itu terdapat di dalam Yohanes pasal 11 ayat yang ke-35.
John 11 and verse 35.
Dalam King James Version menyebutkan
King James
Jesus
versions.
wept.
And it says Jesus wept.
Menarik untuk kita ketahui sedikit ayat ini.
It's interesting for us to kind of know a little bit about the background of this verse.
Dan itulah yang saya sedikit mau elaborasi, memberikan kekuatan dan penghiburan bagi keluarga.
This is exactly what I would like to elaborate to give some strength to the family.
Pengharapan apakah yang bisa kita dapat dari ayat yang pendek ini?
What hope can we get from this very short verse?
Yang pertama adalah
First,
Yesus sendiri menangis.
Jesus himself wept.
Jadi tidak ada salahnya kalau kita menangis.
So there's nothing wrong for us to cry.
Itu adalah bagian dari kehidupan manusia.
It is a part of human life.
Tapi dalam 1 Tesalonika 4 ayat 13,
However, in 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13,
firman Tuhan mengatakan jangan berduka
Word of
cita
God says,
seperti orang yang tidak memiliki pengharapan.
let us be sad like people who does not have hope.
Dari semua peristiwa kehidupan Yesus,
From all the life occurrence of Jesus Christ,
hanya satu peristiwa yang disebutkan di dalam Alkitab bahwa Yesus menangis.
there was only one occurrence, which was in this passage where it says Jesus wept.
Ketika Yusuf ayahnya sendiri meninggal dunia,
Even when Joseph, his own father, passed away,
Alkitab tidak mencatat kalau Yesus menangis.
the Bible did not record that Jesus wept.
Ketika putri Jairus meninggal,
When the daughter of Jairus,
ketika
passed away,
putra seorang janda di Nain meninggal,
when the son of a widow in Nain also passed away,
Yesus juga tidak menangis.
Jesus also did not cry.
Ketika Yesus berada pada waktu kanak-kanak,
When he was a little child,
Alkitab juga tidak mencatat kalau Yesus menangis.
the Bible also did not write that he cried or he wept.
Ketika Yesus berada di Getsemani,
Even when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane,
satu peristiwa yang sangat menegangkan,
this very tense moment of his life,
Yesus juga tidak menangis.
he also did not weep.
Ketika Yesus di Golgota,
When he was on the hill of Golgotha,
ketika Yesus di atas kayu salib,
when he was hung on the cross,
ketika ibunya sendiri menatap dia berada di kayu salib,
when his own mother stared at him on
Yesus
the cross,
juga tidak menangis.
again, he did not weep.
Satu-satunya catatan Alkitab di mana Yesus menangis adalah ketika dia berada di kuburan Lazarus.
The only record that the Bible had of Jesus weeping or crying was in the story of Lazarus.
Pertanyaannya mengapa?
So the question,
Mengapa sampai Yesus menangis di kuburan Lazarus?
why did he cry in front of the tomb of Lazarus?
Menarik untuk kita pelajari
It is interesting for us to learn.
ketika dalam bahasa Yunani
In its original Greek language,
ada 2 kata untuk kata menangis.
there are 2 words describing crying or weeping.
Kata yang pertama adalah
First one.
klaio. Klaio.
The first one would be klaio,
Dan yang kedua adalah dakruo,
and the second one would be dakruo.
yang artinya sama-sama menangis.
They have similar meaning, which is crying.
Dalam perjanjian baru hanya sekali kata dakruo digunakan.
In the Old Testament, the word dakruo was only used once.
Dan selebihnya adalah kata klaio.
And everything else in the Old Testament was described as klaio.
Dan hanya sekali Yesus menangis.
And Jesus was only weep, or he only wept once.
Dan kata yang digunakan untuk kata ketika Yesus menangis adalah kata dakruo.
So the very word that was used at this time in this story was dakruo.
Berarti ada sesuatu yang penting dalam ayat ini, dalam peristiwa ini.
And therefore, it gave us a clue that there was something important that had happened.
Tangisan Yesus bukan tangisan biasa,
This was not just an ordinary cry,
tapi satu tangisan yang berbeda dari tangisan yang lain.
but this is something that is different from other cries.
Tentunya kita rindu mengetahui tangisan apa yang Yesus tangiskan di kuburan
So of
Lazarus.
course, we are longing to understand what type of crying was this.
Kalau kita baca di dalam Yohanes 11 ayat 33,
If we read from the book of John, chapter 11 and verse 32,
Maria menangis,
we saw there that Maria also was weeping.
Marta menangis.
Martha also was weeping.
Maria dan Marta adalah saudara dari Lazarus.
And they were both sibling of Lazarus.
Orang-orang Yahudi yang ada di tempat itu juga menangis.
Even the Jews were crying at that time.
Bahkan peratap-peratap bayaran juga menangis.
Even professional weeper or crier also cried at that time.
Kata yang digunakan ketika mereka ini semua menangis adalah klaio.
And the very words describing all this type of crying was klaio.
Tetapi
However,
ketika Yesus menangis,
when Jesus wept,
Yesus menangis bukan klaio,
Jesus wept and it was not described as klaio,
tapi dia menangis dakruo.
but it was described as dakruo.
Secara definisi, klaio berarti
In definition, klaio means
referring to not only weeping but also wailing that commonly accompanied Oriental mourning for the dead.
bukan hanya menangis secara biasa, tetapi itu adalah teriakan untuk mengantar seorang yang meninggal dunia.
Sedangkan dakruo ini,
However, dakruo
ini adalah satu tangisan yang mengeluarkan air mata, seperti hanya mengeluarkan air mata.
this is simply just a cry that shed some tears.
Ayat ini menjelaskan kepada kita
And so this verse explained to us
bahwa Yesus tidak meratap.
that Jesus was not wailing.
Yesus tidak menjerit-jerit histeris oleh karena kematian Lazarus.
He was not hysterically screaming because of the death of Lazarus.
Bahkan seharusnya Yesus tidak perlu menangisi Lazarus.
Because in reality, he didn't have to cry for the death of Lazarus.
Mengapa Yesus tidak perlu menangis untuk
Why
Lazarus?
he didn't need to cry?
Yesus tidak perlu menangis untuk kematian Lazarus.
Why he didn't need to cry about the death of Lazarus?
Karena Yesus bisa
Because he was able.
dan akan segera membangkitkan
He
Lazarus.
was about to resurrect Lazarus.
Sehingga Yesus tidak perlu menangis untuk dia.
So he didn't really need to cry for him.
Lalu kalau begitu, mengapa Yesus
then,
menangis?
This story, why did Jesus weep?
Yesus tidak menangisi kematian itu sendiri.
He wasn't weeping of death itself.
Kenapa?
Why?
Yohanes 11 ayat 25 mengatakan,
Because in verse 25 of that
Akulah
very same
kebangkitan
chapter,
dan hidup.
He just said that I am the resurrection and the life.
Wahyu 1 ayat 7 mengatakan,
And even Revelation 1 verse 7,
Aku memegang kunci maut
he said, I have the key to death itself.
dan kerajaan maut.
And even to the kingdom of death.
Lalu kalau begitu,
So then,
meskipun sama-sama menangis,
although they were all weeping together,
tangisan Yesus adalah tangisan yang berbeda.
the cry of Jesus is truly a different type of cry.
Pertanyaannya, tangisan untuk apa dan tangisan untuk siapa?
So the question become, what type of crying was that and who was he crying to?
Kalau kita lihat konteks Alkitab,
When we pay attention to the context of this story, and
kita akan menemukan jawabannya.
we would then find the answer.
Tangisan Yesus adalah tangisan simpati untuk Maria dan Marta.
Really, the crying of Jesus was a sympathy shown to Martha and
Yesus terharu oleh kesedihan
He
dan
was simply
kesusahan yang sedang dialami oleh Maria dan Marta.
by the sadness that Maria and Martha.
Jadi demi siapa Yesus menangis?
So for whom was he crying?
Yesus tidak menangis untuk Lazarus,
He didn't cry for Lazarus.
tapi Yesus menangis demi untuk Maria dan Marta.
He cried for the sake of Maria and Martha.
Yesus menempatkan dirinya menjadi sahabat dan teman terbaik bagi Maria dan Marta.
Jesus placed himself as the best friend of Martha
Sebagaimana
and Maria,
keluarga sudah sampaikan tadi.
as the family have told us.
Mengapa kita hadir pada sore hari ini di tempat ini?
Why did we all come to this place this afternoon?
Memberikan support kepada keluarga.
To give a support to the family.
Sama seperti yang dilakukan oleh Yesus.
Just as Jesus did.
Kenapa dia ada di sana menangis?
Why was he there crying?
Memberikan support kepada Marta dan Maria yang kehilangan saudaranya.
To give a support to Martha and Maria who just lost.
Tapi tangisan Yesus lebih daripada sekedar tangisan simpati kepada Marta dan
At the
Maria.
same time, the crying of Jesus was also more than just a sympathy shown to Martha and Maria.
Tangisan Yesus adalah tangisan terhadap mereka yang meratapi Lazarus.
The weeping of Jesus was also the weeping of those who were crying for Lazarus.
Mengapa Yesus harus meratapi? Maksud saya, mengapa Yesus harus menangis terhadap orang-orang yang menangisi Lazarus?
Why was he crying for those people who were crying for Lazarus?
Karena mereka adalah orang-orang yang terlibat di dalam rencana membunuh Yesus.
Those are the same people that were involved in the plan of
Saudara bisa
killing
temukan
Jesus.
penjelasannya di dalam ayat 45 dan seterusnya dari Yohanes pasal 11.
Because you will find that explanation in verse 45 and so on.
Yesus juga menangisi mereka ini.
He was also crying for them because
Oleh sebab meskipun mereka menyaksikan dengan mata kepala mereka sendiri,
even though they witnessed with their own eyes
Yesus melakukan banyak mujizat,
that he had performed many miracles,
tetapi tetap saja membiarkan hati mereka tidak percaya.
but yet they allowed their hearts to continue to be unbelief.
Dan menuntun orang lain untuk tidak percaya.
And also leading other people to unbelief.
Apa yang mereka katakan di kuburan Lazarus?
What did they say?
Ia memelekkan mata orang buta.
He said he is able to make the blind man see.
Apakah ia sanggup berbuat sesuatu kepada orang yang telah meninggal ini?
So would he be able then to do something about this dead person?
Kata-kata keraguan dan tidak percaya yang diucapkan.
These are the words of doubt.
Yesus menangisi mereka yang berada bersama-sama di sana, tetapi
Jesus
akan terlibat di dalam penyalipannya.
Cried for those who are there with him, but yet would be involved in his crucifixion.
Sebagian dari mereka berada di sana akan menerima pembalasan.
Many of them who were present at that time would be avenged.
Karena kota Yerusalem akan dihancurkan.
Because not long from that time, the city of Jerusalem will be decimated.
Dan mereka akan dianiaya dan akan dibunuh sampai mati.
They all would be persecuted and would be killed.
Diakibatkan oleh kedegilan hati mereka di dalam kedurhakaan.
Because of their wickedness in their own heart.
Itulah sebabnya Yesus menangisi orang-orang yang meratapi Lazarus ini.
That was reason why he was weeping for the people who were crying for Lazarus dead.
Yang ketiga,
The third reason,
tangisan Yesus yang lebih besar adalah
the crying of Jesus who had bigger meaning
adalah tangisan terhadap mereka yang terus-menerus menolak Dia sebagai Tuhan dan Juru Selamat mereka.
was the weeping, the crying for those who continually rejected him as their Savior.
Sehingga Tuhan tidak dapat berbuat apa-apa lagi untuk menyelamatkan mereka.
Then God was not able to do anything else.
Jadi Yesus menangis untuk mereka ini.
That's why Jesus cried for them.
Karena mereka menolak keselamatan yang Tuhan berikan.
Because they have rejected the salvation that God had offered them.
Tangisan Yesus yang terakhir adalah tangisan oleh karena beban dosa.
The last reason why he cried was because of the burden of sin.
Dia tahu bahwa kematian itu diakibatkan oleh dosa.
He knew that the result of sin was
Dan
death.
suatu saat kelak,
And one day,
bahwa kematian sebagai upah dosa
that as the wages of sin,
dan sebagai akibat dosa
and because of the result of sin,
akan ditimpakan kepada dirinya
would be given unto him
sebagai akibat pelanggaran hukum Allah.
because of the transgressions of God's law.
Sekiranya Yesus berada dalam perkumpulan kita ini secara fisik pada saat ini,
If Jesus is present here physically with us,
apakah Yesus akan menangiskan tangisan Klaio?
would he be crying the cry of Claio?
Ataukah Yesus akan menangiskan tangisan Da Cruzo?
Or would he be crying the cry of the Cruzo?
Yesus tidak menangis oleh karena tangisan Klaio.
Jesus didn't cry for Claio cries,
Tapi mungkin dia akan menangis tangisan Da Cruzo.
but I think he will be crying at the cruel cry.
Mari kita tanya posisi masing-masing diri kita.
Let us ask ourselves our own position in the
Di
sight
mana
of Jesus.
posisi kita dalam hubungan kita dengan Tuhan?
Where are our positions in our relationship with God?
Seperti yang saya sampaikan di awal pembicaraan ini,
As I have said in the beginning of my message,
saya melihat bahwa Ferrenstein adalah seorang yang telah menyerahkan dirinya kepada
I
Tuhan.
have witnessed that Ferrenstein was someone that had given and surrendered his life to God.
Dan bahkan dia berkomitmen untuk melayani gereja dan melayani pekerjaan Tuhan.
He even had committed to do a mission trip for God to serve his God.
Hanya oleh karena masalah waktu dan kesempatan yang dia tidak miliki.
Just because of a matter of time, he couldn't fulfill his wish.
Tapi hidupnya sudah sepenuhnya berada di dalam Tuhan.
However, his life is fully in God's hand.
Yesus tidak perlu menangiskan tangisan Da Cruzo kepadanya.
So Jesus did not need to cry the cry of the Cruzo on Ferrenstein.
Itulah sebabnya kematian yang dialami oleh Ferrenstein
And that's why what type of death that Ferrenstein had experienced
adalah kematian yang membawa penghiburan.
is actually the death that had brought us comfort.
Kita sedih dia telah pergi dari kita.
Yes, we are sad that he is no longer with us.
Hanya sekitar 26 tahun bersama-sama dengan
He was
keluarga.
only able to spend about 26 years with the family.
Tapi jangan lupa,
But let us all remember,
ada sesuatu yang lebih daripada kesedihan manusia yang patut kita banggakan.
there are something more that we need to think about, to be proud about, other than human sadness,
Kehidupannya yang telah dia persembahkan untuk Tuhan.
which was the life that he had given and committed to Christ.
Kematian seperti ini Alkitab sebutkan
And this type of death, the Bible said,
berharga di mata Tuhan kematian semua orang yang dikasihinya.
precious in the sight of the Lord, those who died in him.
Wahyu 20 ayat 6 mengatakan,
And even Revelation 20 verse 6, it
berbahagia dan kuduslah ia
says, blessed and holy are those
yang mendapat mendapat bagian dalam kebangkitan pertama.
who share in the first resurrection.
Kematian kedua tidak berkuasa lagi atas mereka.
The second death has no power over them.
Bagian Ferrenstein sudah selesai.
Ferrenstein's part had ended.
Perjanjiannya dengan Tuhan telah disil.
His covenant with God has been sealed.
Sekarang tertinggal bagi kita semua yang ditinggalkan.
Now, us remain here.
Khususnya
who he had
bagi
left.
keluarga Hutagaol dan Silitonga.
Especially for the extended family of Hutagaol and Silitonga.
Pertanyaannya adalah,
The question would be,
apakah kita masih tetap bisa mempertahankan kesetiaan kita kepada Tuhan
are we able to continue to be faithful unto God
sampai kepada titik darah yang penghabisan,
until the very end of our lives,
sampai bertemu di ketangan Yesus yang kedua kali?
until we meet again in the second coming?
Tuhan memberkati.
May God bless all of you.
Lagu penutup dari acara kita ini as a closing song, please small group Colton 2, please come forward. Small group Colton 2. Ya, Pastor Wilson bisa bersama dengan kita. Om Sofian Hadi, Ibu Marta.
before I offer closing prayer, I once again would like to thank you. Thank you for being here, celebrating the life of our beloved Ferrenstein. And may the Lord bless you all abundantly as you show your love, your support to us. Let us pray together. Our God, our Creator, our Sustainer, our Healer, our Redeemer, you have seen the tears that we shed today. You know the pain that we experience in this sharing of memories of our beloved's life, Ferrenstein. And you also know that though we might experience pain and hurt through this sharing, you also are sending healing through them. And so, Lord, as we end this service this evening, and as we prepare ourselves to enter our weekdays of working, of activities, and of being productive, yet we still carry the pain, the hurt, and the emptiness of having lost our beloved Ferrenstein. And so, Lord, we pray that you continue to fill our hearts, fill the emptiness, especially when we remember him. And I pray, Lord, today that you bless those who have come, or those who have watched this program, and those who have continued supporting us, especially Ferrenstein's parents and siblings, that through our grieving process, we find comfort and healing and peace. And may you continue to uphold us together, to love one another as even we look forward to that glorious day when you come again to take us home, when we will be together with him and with others that have gone before us. But until that day come, Lord, I pray that you bless us, empower and inspire us to love one another and to encourage one another, to be faithful to you and to one another, is my prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
To everybody here. For most of you, it might be last minute. Following COVID regulations was hard, but I want to thank every one of you personally for showing support and showing love. I speak on behalf of my family. we wouldn't have been able to show the strength and be here as strong as we are without your support. I also want to thank the pastoral staff, the elders, board members, small group, the audio-visual team, the social department, deacons, deaconesses, men and women ministries, youth ministries, music department, all church members, and the Indonesian community as a whole. And lastly, everybody watching online, even though you couldn't make it, we feel your love and support. There's too many of you to name personally, but I just want to thank each and every one of you. You mean a lot to us. Thank you.
Demikianlah acara kita telah berakhir pada sore hari ini. Mudah-mudahan keluarga yang kita kasihi, keluarga Hutagaol dapat merasa terhibur, dikuatkan dengan kehadiran kita masing-masing pada sore hari ini. For those of you who plan to go home, please, because of the COVID protocol, just grab your food. Family already provide the food, and go right away to your car. Please grab your food and go to your car. Thank you.